Good evening. This is Norma Cowie for Mental Mind Treatments. I am just about not quite 7. I'm a bit earlier. I like to be a little bit earlier because um, sometimes it takes a little longer to go live, and then I don't like the idea of being late. I apologize that I wasn't here last week. And for those of you who have listened to A Sunday Thought, you'll see and hear, you'll hear why. As you're looking. And yeah, I knew I was going to be away. I took my computer and we spent a long time trying to connect it to the Wi-Fi of the house that I was at. It would not connect. And as I said on Sunday, I had to learn about, again, exercise acceptance and then just get on with what was happening. And it also affected Wednesday's Norma Talks as well, which I had done on the Sunday, but couldn't put it up till I got back home. So it made me a little bit more aware, perhaps, that traveling, which I love to do, isn't always as easy, but I've never had that problem before. So I'm incredibly happy to be here tonight with you and to do some mental mind treatments. And I see here that Kayla is already here, and she let me know earlier that of what she basically wanted. So we can begin. But before I do that, for those of you that are not had an experience with mental mind treatments, I know I have an explanation explaining what I do, but sort of what I do. What I do is a prayer technique that I learned many years ago. And I found as I use this prayer technique, other information would come to me. And that's because I am a working psychic. And in a way, I channel, I see pictures and I see things. And so it's not just a sort of a prayer outline, but it also has a lot more. And I really found this very helpful to me over the years and to my clients when I'm doing transformation work. I do this a lot, especially when we're working on certain aspects like oaths and vows and contracts and things like that. And especially the Akashic records. Okay, so we're going to start with Kayla. And as I already have her information here that she wants. And basically, as I was working with what she had sent me, I just realized that what we need here is all energies to be balanced and flowing with ease and grace. So that's going to be what I'm going to concentrate on here. So for those of you that this is new, not used to seeing, I close my eyes. I better move my water out of the way because sometimes I can get a little bit with my hands going. Okay, so knowing that there is one power in the one essence, I speak my word for Kayla. And as I speak my word for Kayla, I know that the law of love, the lovingness, the oneness, the beingness of that is all around us, that the energies that work within our system can be all balanced and they can flow easily without interruption. Anything that blocks the easy flow is released, is transformed, is allowed to be let go, so that their whole body, the whole system, even though I know that the head is very important in this, but we want the whole system to be absolutely flowing so that the energies of the universe flow through with ease and with grace and there's a sense of enlightenment in here, a sense of an awareness, and the awareness of who and what goes into creating blockages to create the essence of stopping and blocking and being. Now, I give thanks in knowing that these energies that go within the central part of Kayla, operating from in the head, but also in the body, that everything flows with ease and grace, that there is a sense of just letting go. And I just feel like the breath, I feel like I hold my breath and then I just breathe out. And as I breathe out, I relax. And in the relaxing, it's like everything falls into place. There's something about placement, of being in an appropriate place, of being in a place where things work. and being in a place of how everything comes together. So I give thanks in knowing that ease and grace. I give thanks in the energies of being balanced and just flowing easily throughout the whole body, all aspects of the body. It's total physical in so many ways, that there is a radiation of light, of love, of peace, and of serenity that is flowing from every pore in the skin. And so you could say the aura or the nimbus, whichever you want to call that energy field, is just moving through the whole body. There is absolutely nothing blocking it. There is only oneness. There is only peace. There is only love. And I give thanks in that knowingness. And I give thanks as this thought form goes out for Kayla, that all is well within this balanced energy. And so I say, thank you, thank you, thank you for knowing that. And we release this thought knowing it is true and it is done. And so it is. Amen. Okay, I see a few other people's names up here, which is nice. So Annette, she says, I am so happy to be here and experience your beautiful sharings. Thank you so, so much. And also a greeting to me. Yes, well, it's really a pleasure to be here and be able to do this. Karen, oh, how good. Oh, you must have wondered where I was last week, and I apologize. So glad to see you. I realize I am ready for a new, hang on, let me see here, a new, more current, up-to-date life plan. I can now see what I desired for years isn't up to date. Interesting thought. Thanks so much. Okay, I'm just going to make a note on this. I'm going to separate these bits here. You need hang on. I'm just writing this down here. A new life plan. Boy, sometimes we have to do that, right? We got to keep up with where we're at and what's going on. A new life, hang on, a new life plan. I've got that. And so we just need to update it. Okay, okay, I got it. See, if I'm not clear in my mind what exactly is wanted, that makes that a little difficult to transform it, because I'm putting in the thought form out there. A new life plan. Now, I'm just looking at this, and I'm wondering, Karen, maybe you can make a quick note. Do you need clarity for a new life plan? Is that what you're asking for? Do you need clarity, or do you know and you're not sure how to go there? So there's two elements. So she says, yes. Oh, thank you. So you need clarity for your new life plan. Yeah. Because you see, very often the old thought forms, if I can just sort of teach for a moment, the old thought forms come from the subconscious consistently. And until we're really aware of letting those go and bringing in new ones, what happens is we keep recreating. And very often it's like a wheel that goes round and round, and we're not moving and in the direction we want. And a lot of it is learning how to adjust, learning how to deal and how to cope, and being able to let go. And and those of you that are watching the chat line, you'll see that she's putting on, thank you, Karen. I'm clear. I think I'm clear. Anyway, we'll know that we're giving. So as I move into that oneness, that power, that essence that I call the universal loving force, I know that we're all connected in this force. I know this force is in everything and everyone. And so therefore, I speak my word for Karen. And at this moment, as I speak my word for Karen, I know I am willing to let go of my previous life plan and allow myself to see the direction that I need to work on in this time, in this place. I allow myself to go to the horizons of how and what I want in my life in a very new way, because the reality is that I know now that if I think it can be, maybe not tomorrow, but it will be. And the key is to understand and want it in the wholeness of my being as I have clarity. So it's really about letting go of, like dreams that have not come true. And there's a lack, the feeling of lack, like, oh, it's not for me, it's for other people. All those down thoughts, we want those all released to allow space for newness in creation, of recognizing that all things are possible. If you're a tarot person, number one, the magician always says everything is possible. And it's true. But what do we have to do to create that? We have to aspire above to manifest into the material. We have to know that our desires can be. Very often we don't want to do what they want to do. But I can see, I was like, I've become the magician and I have all the tools I require in my life. I can create because I know the power of the universe has my back. It is working to create what I choose to create for myself. So my plan, my clarity may change. It may change many times. But I know in this moment and where I step forward is that I will be shown that the path will and what would we call it? Like outlay it in front of me. It's like a carpet being put out in front. So all I have to do is walk on the carpet step by step, accepting the jewels, accepting the things that come in, and realize they're always there to support me, to show me, to allow me to be my highest and my best, to breathe in new goals, new awarenesses, and not be hampered by what has gone before. It's like creating a new day, opening a new door, making a mark in the land, whatever you want to think of it, but knowing that what's behind is behind. And what is open is all for you to step into, that you are willing and ready to move forward with clarity for a new plan to come and be, and to step slowly, step by step, and creating more what you want in your heart and in your spirit of being. So the love is much more effective in all that works within you. I give thanks in knowing that the clarity of a new life plan is there. I give thanks in knowing that you're stepping forward into a new awareness, a new growth, a new loving acceptance of self. I give thanks in knowing that all will flow easily as you move forward. And I release this thought by saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is, knowing it is done. And so it is. Thank you. Okay, now I'm just going to go back to my book, my book I have here. I don't have many things to do from my book. Sometimes I have a lot. I don't tonight. This is for Barbara. Barbara is not well, and her home environment is not the best. So we're just going to do a treatment for Barbara. And as I do a treatment for Barbara, who I have known for many, many years, I know as I speak my word for Barbara that the loving force is in all situations. And the key very often is just to allow the peaceful healing of self to move into the home environment. It's like knowing that with every breath that you take is peaceful. It's like breathing in peace and breathing out anything that is not peaceful. It is about breathing in health and breathing out anything that is not. It is like knowing that your lungs and your breath are like the billows that you make a fire go. In the old days, you used to have billow things that used to make the air, and the air would come and the fire would grow. I just feel needs to be more air in relation to peace, in relation to health, and in relation to knowing that your environment can reflect that. And in knowing that, I know that situations change, but there's the belief of knowing that is really, really important. So at this moment, we strengthen the belief that peace and love and healing is there, and that the home environment in which you're in, becomes peaceful with every breath that you take as the day moves on. I give thanks in knowing this, and I give thanks by releasing all the old pain and angst and hostilities, and allow the peaceful, healing home environment to be there as you breathe in and out, and allow it to be. And in knowing this, I say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen. Okay, I saw one back here. Maria's on here and saying hi. I'm so glad you're catching the show tonight, too. I have a little tear in my eye, Maria, and because I know tomorrow is a big day for you. Karen Lee. And she says, glad to see you again. Sure. So what can I say for you tonight? What's the word? Yeah. Is there anything, write something that you would like me to just refer to, even if it's just to have a peaceful day or whatever, because that makes what the show is all about and makes it worthwhile for me and you to be here. I really appreciate you guys that have come in. I really do, especially after last week, which was in some ways upsetting, but I learned that you can't stay upset with on a reality that's a reality. So I'm going to go back to my list here. I have one more person. And this is a person that I usually call Miss G, who is battling. Well, I shouldn't do the battling, but it's working with some cancer situations. So I hear by the grapevine is that she is improving. So my prayer today is this. I know there is one power and one essence in all things, and I know that we're all connected through this wonderful energy of love. And as we are connected through this wonderful energy of love, I know that for Miss G, there is continued physical health, a letting go of all that restricts physical healing, a surrendering, in a sense, to the power that lies within the body as it is supported by what is being taken, by what is utilized, and what is known. There is a surrendering of resistance to outside circumstances. It's like surrendering, letting them, and when I don't mean surrendering that they rule, I mean surrendering so that they're not effective. There is only love and light and healing and grace and peace and all those things right here, right now. And I feel it right through the middle of from my sternum up as it grows. And it's like a fountain, in a sense, the fountain of energy that comes and spring forth. And it feels to me like it is something that has been captured or blocked for a long, long time. And now this is being released. And it is like this phenomenal healing element that is a releasing of some very, very, very old restrictions that have been held deep, 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 deep inside. And it's just like opening. The only thing I can think that would be the closest is when the people in the waterways open a valve and the water pours out, except this pours up and out. But it's like there is this pouring of the old, but with it comes this renewed energy, this renewed vitality, this renewed awareness of just being. And as we move into the being, that's a word I'm really big on in lots of ways, is to be. The being of who we are. It is something that I discovered that each soul, when they first come out as a little soul, when they're first created, is a beingness. It's an aliveness, it's a knowingness, and it's awareness. And I feel that no matter what lives you've had, is that the letting go, so the beingness is just coming. And it's so beautiful. It's so essence, just like in a way, it's a very subtle rainbow, but it is so gorgeous. And I just want to give thanks for the knowing that there is not only the continued physical health, but the letting go of all the restrictions to physical healing, the letting go and the coming to the awareness of the power of love within, the power of our beingness of who we are, to allow ourselves to be truly who we are in every which way. I give thanks for this. I give thanks in the knowing that this energy is in each and every one of us. And even though this has been for Miss G tonight, I also know that anybody who hears this is able to lock in and let go of restriction of being. It is our duty, it is our awareness to become who we truly are. And so I give thanks in the knowingness that we all are going to benefit by the beauty of Miss G and the awareness of life as it truly is. And so I release this whole thought by saying, and so it is. Amen. And a big breath. I just want to just read. I just looking at what my friend Marie has written here, and she's got a big letting go tomorrow. Yes, and she said, I've had a few tears. Releasing people and situations for their greatest good is a word of the day at the moment. And I think that the last, in a way, the last treatment was very much in relation to that, and very much into the relation of how the need is to let go, to allow things to be. Very often we get stuck to how it's supposed to look, how things are supposed to be. We're raised often with a belief structure that this is this and this is that. And so consequently, we seem to think that that's how it's supposed to be. And yet we as individuals go through experiences where we have to let go, where we have to assimilate our feelings, we have to adjust often. I had a little adjustment myself to make yesterday. A friend of mine who had been in Ireland for 2 weeks had come back. And many of you know my daughter passed, it must be 3 years ago, maybe longer now. And anyway, she had said, I've got something for you. And I said, okay. So she came down and she came and she gave me this candle. And she said, I was at St. Bridget's, which my daughter's name was Bridget. And I felt her presence saying, get this candle and take it home to mom so she can light it and then there was some connectional thing, and which is funny because people seem to show up with either information and or presence too from there. So it's like they're letting go often can create other things that are much more in harmony and much more in aware. So I just going to do a little treatment for Moraine just in strength. So I know there's one power in the one essence of all things. And I also know that no matter what we need to let go of, love always fills the space and allows us to keep that connection energetically with a person, no matter where they are, whether they're alive or passed on the other side or in several states away. I know that no matter what occurs, that our love for that person persists through all time and space. I also know that the waiting sometimes for that person to reemerge into your life can feel like a long time in the beginning, but all of a sudden, the time is there when they return. And the joy and the love and the feeling of acceptance of who they are and how it works is that, and that's what once the grief of the letting go and the separation is the knowing that coming back. And I give thanks in the knowing of this by saying thank you, thank you, thank you, that to know that doesn't matter distance, that the energy of love is always there. And as a person who left their natural home and all their family and a large one, quite young, to come here to Canada and to be separated for very long times, is that knowingness and that lovingness. And I give thanks that today we have such wonderful things that we can communicate with, and that all is well, no matter what, all is well, because energy is energy, and this situation moves on very, very well. Okay, now I'm just going to do what I just looked back what we had 2 weeks ago now. And another friend of ours, Miss Am, who always is waiting for her new abode, her new homestead, her new awareness, but also for her health. And I'm going to do a double treatment here because she had some surgery just the other day and she is recuperating. So I know the one power and the one essence is in all things, and I can speak my word for my friend, Miss M, knowing that her goals and her desires are reached, that they're brought forward to her easily, and that the healing process that she's undergoing at this time, it will be even quicker and easier than anticipated, that the body thrives on the feeling of love coursing through the cells, and that all is going to be really well. And so that with the new look, I'm going to say new look, new awareness, new element, then other things shift and change as well. It just comes to my mind that sometimes we have to let things go in order to make space for new things. And even though it may be letting go of something physical, even though we weren't anticipating that, it's as though it opens up the door for newness to come in, for new life, for new awareness, for a new purpose. So I give thanks on behalf of Miss M. I give thanks in knowing that the goals will be realized, that the health will move into a wonderful sense of being, and that on every level, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, will all come into a beautiful blend of knowing. There is only light, there is only love. No matter where you are and what you're doing, it is always working for all of us. And I don't see any new things coming up here, so I'm just going to do a final okay, hang on a minute. Karen Lee. I thought we had one. Oh, we had one higher, I think, didn't we? Did I get this right? Hang on. This print, I must admit it, I really am. You see me peering because that's what I'm peering. Would be grateful for a prayer of some clarity this week as things feel out of sorts. Oh, okay. I didn't see that before. So here we are. That's good. I'm glad. Thought it was up earlier, and maybe I got the wrong end of the stick. But anyway, I got the right end of the stick now. Okay, Karen Lee. Claire, you want some clarity also. It's funny how clarity is coming up, right? Coming up. And that's what we find, we're not really that separate from each other, that the energies that are floating around, if anyone's watches my Norma Thoughts in the beginning of a month, and I do the readings for the month, it's really interesting how sometimes those months just flow and other months it's like on a rocky boat. But it's really about knowing and being. So anyway, Karen Lee, my dear, I know there is one power and there is one essence, and therefore I, connected to that universal love force that binds us all together, speak my word for you in this moment so that you may have clarity of not only this week, but of your life. It's like it's bigger than this week or this day or this second or even this moment. It's like finding the peace within you. It's like coming to terms to recognize that you know all, that you are aware that there is peace. And that means coming out of your head and coming into the essence. Some people call it the heart, but it's even deeper. It's deeper. It's right down in your gut. It's right down into that essence of you, that who you are, what some people call the second brain, I think they call it. But it's like moving down. It's not just being in the heart. This is about being in the knowingness that there is clarity and peacefulness. And then everything else, because if you stay in your head, All it does is go round and round and round and round and round and round. The same old thoughts. You'll notice that. Same old thoughts. Write them out. Take a look at them. And then say, do I really want that? And if you've heard my freeze, evaporate, and replace little exercise, you just change them so that you come into peacefulness. I don't think it's just clarity. I think it's peace. It's a peacefulness of knowing life is there to support you, to bring you what you want easily, because the mind will make it complicated and actually often blocks and stops. The mind is the servant. It is not the master of us, as though many say, and I agree. You got to watch what you think, but it's the servant. It's doing what it does. You've got to be in command of that. If in the old days when you had a horse and a cart, you were in control of the horses. You maintained whether it went fast or slow, if it went right or left. You were in charge of all that because you were the driver of your life. And that's what we need to do, is take these thoughts and have them become the driver of the life. Create what you want. And if you want clarity, make sure your thoughts are opened up so you can get clarity, because your system will give it to you. But I think I think there's a mismatch here between the brain, the heart, and the essence of who you are. You see me feel bad because I've gotten right down on my belly, which you can't see. But it's like knowing that you have your answers. You know what it is you want. You have. It's not like someone's going to come along and drop an eyedropper of like, oh, this is what you do. It's like, I know. And you have clarity because you're not caught up in the 20,000 thoughts that are trying to be ahead of everything. It's like it's like a race going on in your head that's wanting supremacy. So we just need to release all those thoughts. They're just old. They're old thoughts. They have nothing to do with anything. Clear and allow yourself to have clarity of what you choose. In this moment, choose. Every moment is like that. We get to choose. We get to choose to what we want to do. We get to choose what we don't want to do. And we stay in that central part of us that knows peace, that knows clarity, that knows awareness, and most of all knows that we are loved beyond measure. And let it take the stream of what is maybe not real at all. Anyway, I give thanks and knowing for Karen Lee and anybody else who's listening to this, that there is clarity for you. There is an awareness for you. And again, as I know I've already said this tonight, a letting go of all those things that are not necessary in the life, to let go of the mental claptrap, to let go of the fears, to let go of anything that blocks you from having peace, because within peace will come clarity. You will be shown the path. You'll be shown where it is at and what is needed and how to do it. But it comes with finding a peacefulness within the love. I give thanks in knowing this for not only Karen, but for everybody by saying, and so it is. Amen for that. Okay. Marie's just saying, thanks for the reminder that love is the glue that keeps us together and that it flows back and forth easily if we let it. Oh, for sure. And Karen Lee says, thank you so much. Very grateful. Have a great week. You have a great week too. I don't have any other ones here. I'm just going to do one little one to wrap things up. Just want to make sure there's nothing else that comes, because I know you type them in, but very often they don't kind of come up on the screen right away. But I really like what I did 2 weeks ago when I said for all of us to let go of our fears and accept our natural power and connection to the universal love force that is available to everyone if we let it in. So I know this love power that I talk about is real. I know that it is in everything, no matter what that is, and that we can allow ourselves and our beautiful human stance to allow it to come into the spaces in our cells and in our blood and in our brain tissue, and allow us to feel that element that we are loved beyond measure. In the knowingness of this, we can let go of our fears and we can accept our natural power and connection to this beautiful universal love force that is available. It is allows us to be free, to recognize that no matter what the obstacle, no matter what the situation, that we have the answers within us. I just want each and every person to understand that they are loved, they are important, and they have a natural power of this connection. And that they, if they allow it in, if they feel it, it's one of the first things I ever, when I first ran into it, I just knew it had to get to inside me. Oh yeah, it didn't just arrive like that, but I knew I had to bring it in. So I would look for it, find it, bring it in, breathe it in. And I just wish for everybody who hears this knows that that force is there and available for them. I place now, and it's funny, Annette. It says, okay. Oh, okay. Hang on. Bless your heart for writing this, because I'm just ready to wrap up. And she says, "Hey, I did post up. You know, it's funny. They come up and I miss them a little bit. Yeah, I missed Marion as well. Okay. Hello." And she said, "I've been practicing patience in my communication with some wonderful results, but I have also been experiencing strange new feelings in my body, mainly heart palpitations, and that kind of scares me." Oh, I guess it would. Yes. Oh, I see. Hang on a minute. I don't know if I can. I'm just going to raise this. Did I miss any up there? I guess I got caught up in a long session and somebody. Okay, I see that. Well, I think I got Marion's with Miss Sam's similar stuff. And I just want to go back over that again. You know, okay, very often what happens, I'm going to talk more than, and I will do a treatment with that too. Sometimes what happens when we are changing our vibration, our physical parts of us, like our heart, other elements of our bodies, other organs, we'll say organs, even joints actually too, can not be in alignment. So when you, and by the way, thank you so much for saying you did post about, because I had totally missed you. Okay, now, one of the things here, as I feel, and so I'm going to do a treatment just to make sure I've got this correct. So in the treatment, when I speak my word for Annette, I know that, what is that word I really want to see here? You've been practicing. I think it's patience is what you meant. It's like patience, but yeah, I think it's patience that you're meaning there. With some wonderful results. I think that when you're communicating with the love, is that you just need to allow it gently to also come into the organs, come into the essence of you. It's breathing deeply. Breath has a lot to do with it. It is the breathing in the direction of where you're heading and where you're going and what you're doing. I know as I speak my word, there's a lot of, it's like frizziness. There's a lot of, now whether that's mental frizziness on the outside. So you're creating a peacefulness on the inside, but it's still got, now we've talked about mental, how the mental can affect. Hang on, then she's got written me here. I did a patience with autocorrect. Oh, patience. With patience. Okay, thank you. Oh, yes, I know. So, and then I look at them and I interpret. But I still get, what I get is that there's a lot of, it's like it's not in your mind where you sense it, it's around, it's like an electrical force. Now I question, is this yours? Or are you with somebody or around somebody that has a lot of mental activity and that your aura is picking it up? I would question, I don't know if you've got time to write down yes or no on that, if you're aware of that. Because I have a feeling that's why sometimes your heart's going, because it's trying to process somebody else's energy rather than just yours. Because to me, it's like getting you. Well, part of our growth we go through very often is our physical body has to keep up with our emotional, spiritual growth. And I don't know. When I look at this, when I see that, I can see it so clearly. It's like little wires going around. I would question whether that you have someone else's mental interference and that your body isn't sure how to deal with that. I would really want you, I'm just hoping you would say yes or no, because I've got it, but that's what I get. And I think that in that, having that and allowing that, will find that you will be able to allow the heart and your other organs. I would say other organs could be getting this. And I'm also getting joints as well. It's like the parts of you are adjusting, but you want to be totally you. You want that heartfelt, you want that, all that wonderfulness coming. You want everyone else's energy. Now, for those who studied or worked with me at all, and that I have a thing, an exercise I called energy release. And you can use it for anything. Other people's energy, your thoughts, your feelings. I've used it for years and still do, and when I need to. But it's like you really need to learn how to separate this other energy that wants to hang around and it's not yours. So there's more of that with that. Um, you got yes, lots around me. Caring for addicts. So you need to know how to aura cleanse. You need to know how to release, and that's why I call it energy with my energy release. For you might email me norma.cowie@gmail.com, and I'll tell you about that. And because that's really, really important. That was one of the most important tools that I learned, besides learning prayer technique. But way in the beginning, when I started doing personal growth, it was the one tool that really helped me, because I just took everything on from everybody else. And I know that you need to make sure that energy is cleared, because you've got a beautiful heart, but your heart can't digest other people's energy. So you got to know and get it out so that you can be your beautiful divine self. And so anyway, give me an email and let me know, and I'll tell you about it. And we can see if we can get you started on clearing and making things work. All right. Now, I think we're good. So again, I just wish you well. I want to thank you. Yeah, we're about the right timing, a little bit earlier. An hour is long as I will go and do one of these on Monday nights. I will, as far as, as the heavens say, I will be back next Monday. In the meantime, I'll have Wednesday, Norma talks. I will have Sunday, a Sunday thought. And in the meantime, I do work with my clients, and watching lots of tennis right now. It's quite fun. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Thank you so much. Thank you for being. Thank you for knowing that all is well. Be in yourselves. Lots of love. Thanks. Bye now.